Hi, welcome to Elum 360. And today I have with me Professor Michael Osei Edu, the head of Department for Crop Science, University of Cape Coast. He will be joined by a senior faculty member by name Dr. Emmanuel Edu Ojiri. And today we're going to talk about some of the research activities going on at the Crop Science Department, of course, which has significant impact on the Ghanaian society in specific, and probably um, the tropical countries at large, because we're going to talk about one of the important breakthrough regarding one staple crop. Um, so I will allow Prof to introduce himself in details, tell us about his specialty and um, his rise to HOD-ship, and then motivation or what inspired him to take such responsibility. Prof, over to you.
Hi, thank you very much, Enoch, and thanks for having me on Illum 360. I think you're doing a fantastic job, so congratulations on that.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so my name is Michael Osayedu. I have a PhD in plant sciences from the University of Nottingham, where I also did my master's in crop improvement. Before then, I obtained my bachelor's degree in agriculture from the University of Cape Coast. Following my terminal degree, I returned to Ghana in 2015 and I actually had my 10th anniversary celebration on the 1st of January. So I've been at UCC for the past 10 years. And
Congratulations.
thank you very much. And within that time, I've been privileged to work with some fantastic people working on my special area of plant resource use, how plants use resources in the soil, including water, nutrients, and because it is the plant roots that acquire these things, the water and the nutrients. My research interest has been on working on plant roots mostly. We also find that some of the roots are also edible. So I also have interest working with some of the staple crops in Ghana, including cassava, yams, cocoyams, and taro. So those are my interests. And I've been privileged to be the head of the Department of Crop Science, School of Agriculture, and the University of Cape Coast for the past 1.5 years.
Mm.
I think I just got here doing what I do, doing what I love doing, research, counseling, and teaching. And the university system is such that when it gets to your turn, you'll be given the opportunity to serve. So I've been very privileged that for the past 1.5 years, I've been the head of department of this fantastic department of ours. And I've loved every bit of it because I have always been inspired to also contribute to improve the department from where it currently is, improving in terms of our research impact, improving in terms of our program delivery, in terms of our student numbers, and so on and so forth. So my motivation has been the ability to improve our programs, develop new programs, enhance those ones that we already have, and increase the numbers, including increase partnerships, and so on and so forth. So that has been the motivation. So every time when I come to the office, I'm looking for opportunities to make sure we enhance these departments, our teaching, our research, and our outreach. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the insightful background and what the department is currently doing under your leadership.
For our research, yes.
Okay, so going back to the flagship program, which was the BSc Agriculture,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is run by all the various
Departments, yeah,
departments,
yeah.
can you now zero into department-specific programs run by the crop science department?
Okay. Yeah, so for some time now, over 5, 6 years now, the school decided to diversify. I think some departments even started a long time ago, so that each department will have special programs dedicated to the department. So for that, crop science developed a Bachelor of Science in Horticulture.
Hmm.
So we've started a horticulture now. It is currently in its fourth year. We now have 9 year students. We are now admitting new students. So if there are any student who is interested in horticulture, we believe that is one of the important courses that you can have lately. One of the courses that when you do, you finish becoming an entrepreneur already. You don't need somebody to employ you. You have a lot of people into flower export, flower production, landscaping, interior designs, and so on and so forth. Grass, lawn management, stadium management. All these are opportunities in horticulture. So we ran that program to the uh, first degree level. When you go further to the
But before then, what is the
yeah,
cutoff point? What is the cutoff point for this program? If someone
point
to,
currently, the kind of point currently, because we want to make it hands-on. We don't want to make it too, for want of a better word, see.
intellectual.
We so we as long as you do not get the D7,
Hmm.
if you do not get a D7 in the secondary school, WASI, end of secondary school examination, and you did agriculture or related courses. We even do admit visual art students because
Oh, okay.
horticulture is about
Yeah,
beautification, aesthetics.
I
So we
agree.
even do admit visual art students, we admit home economics students, and we admit science students, we admit agricultural students. And as long as you don't get D7, you apply to the BSc horticulture, you would be admitted. So it is open. We've made it very widely open to a lot of people for you to come.
I like that because in our time I didn't do chemistry and this related art
Yes,
math back
yes,
in, and
yes,
then I had
yes.
to come to campus to do this what they call the
Remedial thing.
remedial science program
Yeah, yeah.
before I could enroll. But now I feel like people can even straight ahead.
Straight away.
Yeah,
And we
with
make
this
sure we give you the
background.
background you need so that you can do everything you need to do. Yeah,
Thumbs up
yeah.
to you guys. And now you can go on with the
Yeah, so I was going to
postgraduate
talk
studies.
about the postgrad program. So the postgrad program, those which are run the department. Previously, we used to run the ombudsman program of masters in crop science, PhD in crop science. Lately, what we have done is to also diversify in those areas. So you will still have we still have the masters in crop science, but you have a specialty in this area. So we have five of them: masters of crop science, crop physiology, masters in crop science, agronomy, masters in crop science, plant protection, masters in crop science, plant breeding and genetics, and then we have masters in seed science and technology. So these are the postgraduate programs that we do have in the department, and it has a corresponding PhD mission. So we have all five at the PhD level as well. Yes. So we do have five of them: um, agronomy, crop physiology, plant protection, plant breeding and genetics, and then seed science and technology. It has its corresponding PhDs as
PhD.
well. So there are five options for students to choose from.
And
Yes.
quickly
And
about the duration for PhD.
yes, so the master's runs for 2 years, and first year is for the coursework, and then the final year is for the research work. The PhD, we have a unique case because I know most of our universities in Ghana do 4 years, but we do 3 years. We model ours after the UK, where you start right away with your research. There are some general courses like research methods, academic writing, and other things that you would take in the first year, but you still
Mhm.
start your research in the first year, and in 3 years you are done. Yeah.
And probably also coming from the background with the master's background in similar field, it's also
Yes, yes.
another
So it
added
does help.
advantage.
So you would have, if you continue right away, you would have done all the basic stuff about research methods and everything. So
Mhm.
zooming in and completing in 3 years becomes just seamless for you. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, thank you. And I am appreciative of the information given.
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody will need this information to make decision in selecting BSc crop science as their option when they are
I'll,
applying to
I'll
the
be glad to
University of
receive them.
Agriculture. Great. So let's dive into the facilities that are available at the
Okay.
department for cutting edge research or to aid research and teaching.
Okay. Thank you very much. To start with, we have personnel in various areas. So as a painting, I am into plant physiology and improvement. So finally, although I'm a breeder, I don't even practice primary plant breeder here because plant breeders might be professional. We have seed scientists, Futu and Co. We have biotechnologists, Dr. Frank Me. We have plant protectionists, pathologists, nematologists, virologists. Uh, you know of Professor Van der Boy. We
Yeah.
have agronomists. You
Dr.
see,
Kwakucheaka.
which is as a plant protection and pathologist. So we have all of them. We also have experts in horticulture. We have Dr. Joel Esiedu.
Esiedu, yeah, he was
Yes,
my
so
lecturer.
landscaping and so on. So with personnel to start with, we also do have laboratories. The school has its wet laboratory at the technology center, which is available to the whole school and in fact the whole university. But we also do leverage because some facilities sometimes might be a bit old. So we also do leverage the facilities in other departments.
Okay.
So I mentioned the School of Biological Sciences, and they have the molecular biology lab, which
Mm,
we also use for our molecular activities.
mm,
I've even had occasions of working at our medical school. Medical school has state-of-the-art laboratories that we do use, medical laboratories, our biological. So we have laboratories for cutting-edge research, of course. There's always room for improvement. I must admit that some of the facilities that we do have in our school labs are a bit dated, and we welcome partnership to improve them. But we do have in schools facilities that we leverage, and where we do not have the facility, we have partners, like I mentioned, that the work that we did with GAEC, Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, Binari, the Biotechnology Center. So we do work with partners to also leverage our strengths. We work with University of Ghana, work with University of Kwame Nkrumah, University of Science and Technology. So in terms of lab, we do have, and then we have land. You know, agriculture needs land. So we have research fields at the school farm, and then we have about 419, almost 420 acres of campus
wow.
field in Wamashu. It's beyond Chufupra, which is available for research. So when it comes to research, it has to do with land. That shouldn't be a problem. We also have greenhouse available for research at the AG Cancer Technology Center. We even have commercial greenhouses where we produce vegetables for sale as well. So there's room for improvement, and we continually ask for more. We've not asked for partnership for funding. But currently, we have the personnel, we have the land, we have laboratories, and we are making good research with these ones. Yeah.
Thank you very much. In terms of the land, I have a specific question.
Yeah.
Um, for example, if there is a group of people who have interest in starting up some vegetable or farm production
Yeah.
of a sort,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
want to partner with the
The
university
university.
for
Yeah.
skills, for
Yeah.
land and stuff, and they will
Yeah.
push in the funds for
Yeah. Yeah.
undertaking this. How are you hoping to collaborate?
Very open, very open. I've been in meetings at the school board where these suggestions have come up. In fact, they've done land use plan. So we know the areas dedicated to various type of research. And
Hmm.
in fact, at some point, we're even contemplating, and it is actually very advanced, where we are partnering with Trufu Oil Palm
Okay.
processing to take part for so this private partnership to use part of the land for capacity building, for investment, for research is very open. Anybody willing to do that is welcome for discussion. My dean, the vice chancellor, will be very glad to hear of some of these discussions. Yeah, yeah,
So I would like us to zoom into the research aspect of the department. What is
okay.
currently going on in terms of research, ongoing researches, and how those can be translated into practical or tangible products that can serve the society, apart from
Okay.
what we have already mentioned.
Okay. Right. So, as I hinted previously, we have different areas or disciplines in the department, and in each of these disciplines, my colleagues, their collaborators and partners are doing a fantastic job. The breeders in the department always working on improving food security, improving the crops, our staple crops. Example is the cassava. So now the department is beginning to get a niche for itself as a leading breeder of root and tubers. If we add the four cassava varieties that were released recently, we now have about 11 cassava varieties that has been released. One including Kivas, Banchi, and Banchi. So now the department, the breeders, root and tuber breeders who are actively working on Saba or root and tuber improvement. One of the root and tubers that we are now working on, which I'm sure in about 3, 4 years time, we'll also have another release is taro. So taro, Colocosia esculenta, what people call brube,
I
kuku,
know I
kuku,
used to
kuku.
produce it. It was
Oh,
quite
good,
easy
good,
to
good.
produce and stuff when I was at the secondary school.
Mm.
And at a point in time, it looked like it was going into extension. But
Exactly, exactly.
let me tell you what is interesting. When I moved from Ghana to Europe, and there
Yeah,
was one Asian market, I go there and
yeah.
they have
And they
all
say,
these products in abundance. Yes, bringing
yes,
them from
yes.
Asia. So when you mention it, I felt like it's quite an
So
interesting stuff.
it's actually a project that I lead. We last year got funding from FAO, and we are trying to. So what is actually leading to what is seemingly the extinction is a situation called tiny leaf blight. So
Okay.
it's a leaf blight that is destroying all the taro. So we are breeding currently to see if you can get varieties that are resistant to the leaf blight. And also, most taro have been produced in rural areas. We also try to see whether we can get tolerant ones and, of course, good yield ones. So the department is heavily working on breeding for improved taro varieties, which I'm leading that one. Dr. Futu is also leading, so the Cassava is there, the taro is there, and Dr. Futu is also leading cowpea breeding.
Oh, okay.
Our seed scientist, who is also a breeder, is only working on copy, and I'm sure in a year or two, the breeding aspect. We have, as I mentioned, research. We do have research in our horticulture department as well. So in landscaping,
Okay.
Dr. Siedu, Dr. Kusi, been working on what we call piloting urban landscapes. So we are working on improving communities, improving our surroundings. Can we improve the landscaping, reduce the imperviousness? So these days, people are going in for, concreting, pavement. So it's not we need to pave or we need to concrete. We need to have some greens in places. So these people, my colleagues are working, researching in these areas, making sure that we improve our environmental sustainability. In fact, if you go online now, you will see that we have a Facebook community called Home Gardening Ghana. Home Gardening Ghana is a Facebook group that has over 300,000 people now across the world. In fact, the majority of them
Wow.
Ghanaians, but across the world. Um, was initiated by one of our department members,
Dr.
Dr.
Kwakuche.
Frank, and myself, and we see among the leaders the home manage the place. And we've been going around the nation doing training in home gardening. We actually have ongoing research in home and community gardening. And in fact, I must mention, I forgot that, we've submitted to the university the development of a new liberal program called Home and Community Gardening.
Wow.
Very soon, every first year student who comes to the university, regardless of your course that you're going to do, you have the opportunity to read Home and Community Gardening. which the department has just submitted. In fact, we also have we have submitted, which is now at accreditation level, a master's, 1 year master's in sustainable crop production. So this is for professionals who just need to upgrade. So 1 year master in sustainable crop production. I forgot to mention that, and this should be accredited this year, and we'll start running, and the liberal course also start running. So the horticulture side, that's what we've been doing. And then we have pathologists and plant protectionists, and we've been working on organic pest and disease control systems. So they've been trying to improve Professor Vanderpoy and to improve pest control and disease using extracts from plants like neem, and so on and so forth. So yes, in areas of breeding, in areas of landscaping, horticulture, in areas of protection, plant protection, we've been doing some fantastic research, and of course we have agronomists who've been working with farmers trying to improve management. We've been doing most in the department.
Thank you very much, Prof. I think the department is doing fantastic job, and it's not surprising that in recent times I have seen the department making rounds and waves in the media about a newly released
Yeah,
breeded cassava.
yeah,
And I want to now uh, focus our discussion on this particular topic.
yeah, yeah.
So
That's fine.
basically, I read about the release of improved cassava variety or
Yeah,
breed, which has
yeah,
high vitamin A content. That's right.
yeah, yeah.
So
That's right.
what's the motivation behind this project?
Okay, thank you very much. I hinted previously. The department is now more focused on breeding some of the important staple crops for the country, and the region is among them. So, cassava breeding has been one of the core systems of the department, and so the recent ones we had released, um, I think seven varieties of cassava. The early ones were the Caribbean Apache and the Apache, but and they were all influenced.
Okay, I am Dr. Emmanuel Ojuedu, a lecturer at the Department of Crop Science, School of Agriculture, University of Cape Coast.
And can you
And
tell us?
currently, the principal led in the release of these new yellow flesh cassava varieties that the university has brought into the system.
Congratulations on your achievement. I think that the breeding crop takes quite a long time and
Yeah,
a lot of efforts to do that and to accomplish the release of 5 of them as a lead investigator is quite commendable. So well done. And so you can
thank
tell us
you.
about what motivated this initiative.
Yes, so like as you know, for the Department of Crop Science, when it comes to root and tubers, we've been very good, and that is one of our niche. So for the past years, we've been able to release 7 varieties. But most of these 7 varieties of cassava are white flesh. You see, but in Africa and in Ghana, there is a problem of malnutrition. But you see that students from the JHS to the SHS, one of their major food commodity is gari. And gari is being processed from cassava. So we sat down and said, if students from JHS level to SHS level, you go to our chobos, and the major food in is gari. And gari is also made from cassava, which is predominantly carbohydrate. Why don't we do investigation, come out with cassava varieties that are high in vitamin A or beta carotene, which is good for the eye, So that when students at the basic level, at the SHS level, are learning and they are eating gari, there's no be just eating gari made of carbohydrates, but now they are eating gari with an enriched vitamin A. That will be good for their eyesight. Aside the students, so in fact, the more focus was on the students. So the initial ones that we brought were yellow fresh cassava that were not milling. So when I say they were not milling, which means they were not poundable. That
Okay.
was basically for Gary. But farmers started complaining that, oh, we want yellow fresh cassava that we can use for ampesi, that we can use for fufu, that when I'm pounding my fufu, I don't need to go and buy plantain because plantain sells as vitamin A. So when the vitamin A is in the cassava, then it means at a go, you're having your carbohydrates, you're having your vitamin A, and you're having other minerals. So
I will not cut you here, but I'm quite interested about the millable or the milling aspect because when we were young and we were growing up, right, we were
yes,
used to pounding fufu, and there were times you would get some very cool cassava that you don't have to use a lot of effort, and there were times that
yes,
there were cassavas that if you hit it, it's like you are hitting a
it
nail.
will not.
But it never
Yes,
occurred to me that there were this kind of variation that some were quite
yes,
useful for. But now talking
yes,
about it, it makes more sense, and it's driving home why those disparity existed in the
yes,
cassava we use at home when we kids. Thank you. You can go ahead,
yes.
please.
Yeah, so like I said, so it was those things that motivated us. The milliness or the poundability, getting cassava that are more poundable, and also getting bio-fortified cassava with vitamin A, so that once we are eating it, we will get good eyesight. So these cassava varieties that we've released, if we are to prepare it into gari or we are preparing it into food products, and students or farmers and consumers are to eat it, then we are sure of getting very good eye. So I do recommend that right from the onset, students right from the primary level should start taking in this yellow fresh cassava to improve their eyesight, which will be good for their academic progression.
I will come back to that aspect of your narrative, but before then, um, I can understand that the department has a track record in releasing improved varieties of cassava. Was it a,
Yes,
a build on or an addition to already improved variety? For example, um, when you are producing cassava, and usually the people who are producing cassava are not into irrigation and all those stuff, and
yes,
drought can be a factor that might impede the production of cassava. So maybe there was already a drought tolerant cassava variety by the university, or high improved in terms of size and um, productivity, and then you added the missing aspect of vitamin A, or you increase the vitamin A content. Is that the case?
this one is not the case. You see, globally, most of the yellow flesh variety of cassava that we have, they have low TCC. So when you talk about low TCC, the total carotenoid content, very low. So internationally or globally, the focus has been how do we increase the TCC of these yellow fresh cassava varieties. So this particular, we obtain cassava seeds from International Institute of Tropical Agriculture. So the seeds that we obtain from yellow fresh cassava with low TCC, we brought the seeds to GAEC, and through the help of a principal researcher, Dr. Godwin Amenope, at Ghana, GAEC Binary, the seeds were irradiated. And through mutation, we had the progeny that we planted. Then after the breeding process, after the segregation, we planted it. Then we went to the advanced yield trials. Then from the multi-locational trials, then we did the farmer's field before we were able to select the four So the four that we selected are through the mutation, we now add cassava variety that were having ITCC, that were also drought tolerant.
Okay.
And based on that, we did the selection.
All right. Thank you very much for the clarification. So, what's the duration from cultivation to harvesting or maturity? What's the duration?
Yes, so for every cassava, bulking starts from 3 months. So from 6 months, you can harvest. So let's say if the focus is for Ampesi,
So
the
forking
focus is
by
for
forking, you mean that it starts to gain the roots that develop into the tuber. Is that
yeah,
right?
bulking. Yes. So bulking. Yeah,
Bulking.
the
Okay.
tuberization.
Okay.
Yes, tuberization. So once tuberization starts from 3 months, 6 months, you can get for Ampesi and for Fufu. But if you want to get the optimum yield, then you have to wait till the 12 months where the tubers would have been fully developed. Then you get the actual yield.
All right. So I know that it's not.
So let's say from 6 months, yes.
I know that cassava is not only consumed in Ghana, and the fact that you got even the seeds from IITA suggests
Not
that.
the seeds, the seeds, SEED, seed,
Yeah, I said the seeds. Yeah,
cassava seed.
yeah, I said the seeds.
Okay. Oh, yes,
Getting
okay,
the seeds from
okay.
the IITA, am I right?
Yes, you are right,
Suggest
correct.
suggest how important the cassava commodity is. When I went to
Yes.
Brazil for a conference, majority of the food they produce there were cassava in different varieties. I have lived with friends from Angola, and they eat cassava more than we think we eat in Ghana. So my questions here is in twofold. First, you mentioned that you would admonish that children from primary stage and stuff, if they need to even consume cassava, they should consume this variety of cassava. How accessible will this cassava be on the Ghanaian market and also international market? And what measures are you putting in place to get them out there for the benefit of farmers and the bigger society?
It's IITS even after the sticks.
Prof.
Yes, I think he has oh, he's gone. Right. So I think you were asking about we're making the materials accessible to farmers.
Accessible to farmers within Ghana
Okay?
and any measure to put it out there also on the international market. I
Yes.
mean,
Okay. So what we're doing right after we are waiting for the certification from the National Varietal Release Inclusion Committee. They need to give us the certification. So they have approved that these varieties could be released, but we need to get the documentation to that. So whilst we're waiting for that, we've already initiated what we call multiplication. You know, the difficulty about these crops and cereals where you have a small acre and you have many seeds.
yeah,
This one you need to have hectares on hectares to get um,
the the stakes.
stakes. Yes, we actually colleague Dr. Kusi is working on new things to see if we can optimize how we use nodes of cassava to propagate so that we don't think it can a lot more. In the
Yeah.
meantime, things and so on and so forth. So the immediate thing we are doing is that we are close and I mentioned Wamashu about our 420 acres of land in Wamashu. We are using a part of it to establish multiplication source of the four varieties that has been accepted. So in 7 to 12 months, we should have stakes that are ready to distribute to farmers. As Ima hinted, IITA itself, our customers are interested in having some of the stakes. So internationally, CA will also have some of the stakes. in Ghana, from 8 to 12 months from today, we will have sticks available, which will be distributing to farmers. And what we will ask is that because of the nature of the crop, we would be happy if orders will be placed. So if anybody is looking for any type of cassava or release variety from changing to the new ones, you give it the order at least 8 months in advance. Because it is not like maize or cowpea that we can harvest and store. So if you immediately looking for cassava sticks and you want sticks for only 1 acre, sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah.
So we encourage commercial entities, private entities, individuals that let us inform that you will need cassava sticks. See, they actually advise you the type of variety you need based on what you're going to use it for. Because what we don't normally consider is that if your area is drought prone, then you need a buffer around. You're going to use it for food. You're going to use it for starch
Yeah.
or for gari. So if you for gari, you also need the milliness. You can give it one of high beta carotene. You don't need the
That's not
milliness so
milling.
much. For starch, don't what you're going to use it for, we'll advise you what variety you need, then give us the time, we'll come to an agreement and produce it for you. So we are ready. You want to come into partnership with it. We're also ready to partner with private entities to also collect the materials and multiply. So we ourselves are prepared to multiply and distribute to farmers and whoever is interested. If anybody also wants to come into partnership and collect like seed material and go multiply, we are also open to that idea as well.
Thank
And
you
for
very
now,
much.
we just started the process of multiplication.
That's great. And from your narrative, is it like if people are going to order, is it some financial commitment on the part of these people? And if so, can you?
Previously, what we used to do is that we just take word of mouth, and then we produce and so we did a number of several acres. The sticks rotten because everything we persons did not come. So now we'll have an arrangement. The university is putting in place an arrangement where you come. There will be some financial commitment at the beginning, not fully. So for us to produce, and then after production, then you settle it completely.
All
Yes.
right. All right.
Yes. Yeah.
That's great. So um um the next question I would want you to maybe highlight on is the what we should expect next from the department. I know you mentioned that a lot are going on, and even you mentioned about the Taro
Yeah.
project,
Yeah.
ongoing project and stuff. But specific to today's, specific to the cassava breeding and stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
apart from the MOFA
yeah.
aspect and the multiplication aspect,
Yeah.
what should we expect more in terms of research and all that? Maybe
Okay.
maybe
So,
Ima wants to say something prior to you coming in, Prof.
okay, that's
Okay, what I want to say, like the question you asked in terms of the commercialization and the way forward. From RITA, the East African countries, they prefer the boil and eat cassava.
Mm-hmm.
And currently, for the yellow flesh in East Africa, there is the whole East Africa, there is no a single boil and eat yellow flesh cassava.
Mm.
So as I speak to you, they've even contacted me and the department. So that as early as possible, we see how we can multiply the boil and eat cassava variety with the ITTCC for them to come for it. And surprisingly, when we did the exhibition, we were able to process cassava flour.
Mm-hmm.
And from the cassava flour, we were able to get products like the cassava pie, cassava cake, cassava donuts. So in a country where we are importing wheat and it's expensive, then why don't we as a country also focus on the cassava flour Then once we get the cassava flour, because this cassava flour, as I said, are in vitamin A, we can start the processing of the cassava bread, the cassava cake, and the cassava donuts, and even the cassava pie. And you see, when you taste it during the exhibition, you find that there is no even much
Different.
difference between this product and the normal wheat flour that we use. And in Nigeria currently, they are even advocating for noodles from cassava, and they've started producing noodles from the cassava flour. But once we have the yellow flesh cassava high in vitamin A, if we can process the noodles from it, I think it's a big plus for children, because children love Indomie or the noodles. So now if you are getting noodles from vitamin A flour, I think it's good for us as a country. That will be the little.
Thank you. Because I agree with you. Sometimes also the taste, the difference is just because we have been used to one form of taste for a very long time and we are introducing a new one. So that is sometimes the difference, what brings about the difference.
But,
But
there's
but
no even
yeah, but if we commit to producing our own and even enjoying it right from the scratch, we would also develop taste for that, irrespective of. So I honestly agree with you that sometimes we can look around for the things that are within our communities, which
yes,
provide the same um alternative to the imported ones and
yes.
use them to our advantage. Prof,
But
back,
Yeah.
Enoch,
yeah.
believe you me, if I give you cassava cake, you know differentiate between cassava cake and a normal cake.
We're going to try it someday when I would be in Ghana.
Yes,
I also saw the exhibition.
yes,
Some of the prof has shared some
yes,
photos with me, and I saw some
yes,
of the products in it. I feel like it's also we need to talk more about this. We need to put out the message there. It just
yes,
doesn't have to be in the scientific community, limited to
yes,
publications and scientific conferences. It should be in the within the domain of our people.
yes.
And you know, it's even easy to make cassava flour. The kokonte we prepare, we make them from cassava flour,
No,
right?
coconut is not cassava flour. Yeah, but
Kokonte,
the difference between cassava flour and coconut.
I understand. I understand. But what I'm trying to say is that
Yes. You see,
okay,
you see,
enlighten me. Enlighten us.
people,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
people mistake coconut
Mm-hmm.
with cassava flour, because people think that the English name for coconut is
Mm-hmm.
cassava flour. But no,
Okay. Can you
you see,
explain,
when you
please?
talk about coconut, in the
Mm-hmm.
process of preparing the flour,
Mm-hmm.
it undergo fermentation
Mm-hmm.
and you get coconut.
Mm-hmm.
But when you know, you dry cassava and you know,
Mm-hmm.
without fermentation, that
Mm-hmm.
becomes the cassava flour that is used for pastries.
Thank you. That is exactly what I'm also trying to say. That even our kokonte, we are able to mill it we are able to process it our own from the start. But the wheat flour
Yes,
and stuff that they use for bread, they don't do it themselves. They have to buy. So
okay, okay,
if we
okay.
are planning to even introduce cassava flour as a substitute or a replacement for the imported
Yes,
version, we can do it ourselves,
okay.
and that is an added advantage
Yes, 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 yes. You can
to
easily do
to the
it.
adoption
Yes,
of cassava. Yeah, yeah. I like that
yes,
aspect very much, and we need to talk more about this because some of the products that we are consuming now, like the Indomie you mentioned and stuff, people, when it came to the system, they just talked about it,
yes,
and it got the attention that it needed. So we thank you
yes,
for the efforts and the work you are putting in to improve our crops and to ensure food security, and not just that, but also the nutritional aspect of the food we eat. Prof, um, any message for private entities, the government bodies and stuff, and in terms of collaboration, assistance, and maybe your final words you want to put out there?
Before I get to that, substantive question. I think you were asking me about what next, and he rightly
Yes, please.
pointed to
Yes, please. Yes.
pointed to um, our quest to go into making a lot of products from the cassava. We do have our Votech, the food scientists here that we are working with. We have our agro
Wow.
processors here we're working with, and I think Ghana has long overdue that we need to get percentage, a huge proportion of our flour from cassava. We cannot at this age have 100% wheat flour for all our bread and things like that. So we
No.
need to get to the point where if we cannot have 100% cassava flour bread, we can have a good percentage of it coming from cassava. And for this, we need to work with our agro processors. And I think we agro processing in the School of Agriculture, so we do have some expertise who are working on these ones already, and we need to push that area more. So that's one of the areas that we're going to work for. The other thing is that our research does not stop here. So if you look at the document that we sent for the Varietal Release Committee, you would see that the problem is that the average yield of cassava in Ghana is about 12 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
Average yield of cassava in Ghana is about 8 to 12 tons per hectare.
Okay.
But you can get 60 tons per hectare elsewhere.
Which means we are underproducing, right?
So yes, so our yield, although we lost post-harvest losses, when you talk about improving the your farmers don't really get you because they think that even the water that we are producing, sometimes it gets rotten on the market because of the post-harvest losses. Still, we do have huge room to improve our yield in the country. The ones that got accepted to be released is between 30, I think 32 to 45. He might would correct me if I'm wrong. I think 32 to 45,
It's 32 to 44.
44, 32 to 44
Yeah,
tons per
45.
hectare. So we've made huge progress from the average yield of about 8 to 12 tons per hectare. But we still maintain that we can make more progress. So if you saw the pictures that I shared, you see that the cassava was good. But if somebody is getting 60 tons per hectare, it means that there's room for improvement. So our research on these varieties do not stop here. We're going to continue to improve yield, improve the drought tolerance, improve the disease resistance. Cassava mosaic virus, cassava disease. So we're still going to work passionate about research. So once this have come out, we are going to try to commercialize it, distribute it, disseminate it, but still we are going to continue the research on these areas, getting more produce from it, and then improving it in terms of yield, in terms of resilience. So that is what is up for these varieties that have been released. And now, in our part in social operations, we cannot do it on our own. The government is doing its part, paying our salaries, but the salaries are not enough. So we are always open to partnership. These are private, public partnerships. We have our arms open for partners in terms of research, in terms of investment, in terms of commercialization, in terms of capacity building. Our students are always looking for areas to do internships, attachments, to learn on the job. Our researchers are looking for partners to help them solve their problems. We are looking for partners to help fund the research that we do, funders, local and international partners. We are looking for partners to resource our offices, our labs, our research facilities. So, and we are looking for people that we can also have mutual benefits. So you have a problem in your institute, you have a problem that you think the top science department, we have the capacity. I talked to you about having landscape architectures. If you're establishing children's park, football fields, you want to beautify your plants, you are in the estate development, you want landscapers. We want these partnerships. We have these varieties released. We want people to take them and commercialize them into products, into planting materials. So we're open to partnership. We are also trainers. We build capacity. So if you want us to organize short courses for you, if you want to enroll your students or your workers into our
Workers.
programs,
Mm-hmm.
we are open to this. We can do dedicated, targeted short courses in the area of plant science or crop science. So we are open. Our doors are always open for people to come, and then we'll do business with them. Just to
Thank you
bring
very much.
understanding.
I like that
Yeah,
aspect because I think that outside, all people know about universities is the teaching aspect and getting degree and stuff. They don't even know the research aspect and how practical this could be. Recently, I have a colleague in Prague. He called to ask if I am a microbiologist, and I told him I am not, even though
yeah,
I have knowledge because I took
yeah,
advanced courses in
yeah,
microbiology. And he told me he's studying I think something like tea
yeah,
or something production
yeah,
but
yeah,
on a small scale. And he feels like at the point there is a fermentation aspect and there the microbes there
yeah.
has been some unbeneficial microbes.
Okay, okay,
So looking at someone with the background too.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I told him I will find someone, and I tried to connect some a microbiologist from
yeah,
Noguchi
yeah,
to assist in this. So this is very key. I think businesses can improve. And I feel like,
yeah,
for example, the crop science department is producing cassava at a higher efficiency and productivity than
yeah,
the regular farmers, because you
yeah.
would also keep to certain standards that
Exactly,
the
exactly.
farmers are likely to overlook. And
Yeah, exactly.
sometimes for these farmers to pay some extra to get the knowledge, they feel
Yeah,
like it's a money that they're throwing away. But
yes, yes,
if that knowledge can translate into tangible products, which will be
yeah,
more than 10 times the cost of the knowledge,
exactly,
I think it's
exactly.
worth it. And this is
Yeah,
something we must sell to the public. We must sell it
yeah,
to our farmers. Their farming activities, their crop production can be better if they cooperate with the researchers to help
yeah,
them in how they go. Just like any business person will need a business expert to guide them with the business plan and proposal. I think
yeah,
crop farmers must also look at collaborating with researchers to better
exactly.
their productivity. Thank
Well
you
said.
very much for your time, for your attention, for your dedication to service, and for promoting a high quality and nutritious crop production in Ghana. I hope that we will have another time to meet, and by that time, a lot of things will be going on, and we will have a lot to talk about to our audience.
Thank you very much. And as I said previously, I'm privileged to be on your program. Thank you and continue to do what you do. I think this is a good platform to make sure our stakeholders do hear my research in a normal plain language. So I am happy to be here, and anytime we'll do it
Thank
again. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Emma. Thank you very much, and God bless you
Thank
all.
you. Thank you. God
All
bless
right.
you too.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.